Welcome, everyone, to the Real Ones Real Talks podcast. I'm your host, John, and I've got my guy, Will, with me today.
What up?
Today, we're going to be hitting some topics that most young adults are dealing with, but don't always talk about. So today, we're going to be talking about mental health and stress and how to deal with it. And how do we keep it together when life's starting to feel heavy? And we're going to be talking from, daily stress to kind of diving in deeper stuff. We're going to be honest with it, what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for it, how we handle things when it gets overwhelming. So we're going to kind of soft intro into it with an opening question.
Before we dive into this opening question, the background to this podcast episode may look a little different. As you can tell, actually, some of you guys may not be able to tell, but that is me doing the most amazing front flip I've ever seen on a bed mattress and landing it. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's all I'm saying. So
Pretty legit.
Yeah.
But so to jump in, something that I feel like is definitely more talked about, but it is, do you think young adults are more open about mental health than the previous generations?
I would say, yeah. And I feel like maybe it's been a little too talked about. I guess that could be a sensitive thing, like we said, a little too sensitive to talk about, but I don't know. I mean, we all can kind of see where the world's heading right now, and I feel like when it comes to can you scroll back up to the question? When people are a little more open about it, yeah, it's good to be open about your mental health. But then there's people out there who won't say the right things to help you through it. Or maybe they say it's okay to feel this way when really it's not, if that.
Yeah. Or they'll say the complete opposite thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like they'll end up putting you on a wrong track that in broad, what's the word I'm looking for? In turn, it'll just lead you down a wrong path.
Yeah. No, my thought is, yeah, so we definitely talk about it more. And I just think I would say technology has definitely changed that a little bit because it's everywhere. And even like podcasts are big and everybody's sharing and listening and stuff. So I think it is more talked about, but I think it's because we have more available technologies and we're more social than we were back then. I definitely think, which I guess this kind of leads into our next thing, is that a good thing or does it sometimes lead to oversharing? I would say it is a good thing, and my take on oversharing is I think you need to pick and choose who you're going to share with, and that needs to be a very trusted individual, not, somebody you met 20 minutes ago, because it can lead to what you said is they're going to guide you down the wrong path, or they're not going to reply with positive feedback. They're going to, make it worse and drive that nail in a little worse.
Yeah, it's either you need to talk to someone like you said, you don't need to meet 20 minutes, you didn't meet 20 minutes ago, but also, if you don't have that source to be like, hey, I'm going to go talk to a friend I've known for so many years, I guess like a therapist or someone who you can tell is just completely unopinionated in the fact like they'll hear you out, not judge you, and not give a response that's based upon like
their prejudgment or thoughts.
Yeah. So like they're taking your perspective and then they're ripping it out of their view and they're seeing it in like a broader perspective, I guess. And then they're responding with feedback that's unopinionated, unjudgmental, and good.
Yeah. Which I guess let's ask this question. So do you go to like any sort of therapy or counseling or anything?
No.
Okay, neither do I. I probably should. But obviously busy schedules make it a little more difficult.
Yeah.
But I do think what am I trying to say here? If you can, it's good to probably go see a therapist because they have that neutral ground, they have an education in it, they deal with it every day.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, or do you have a busy work schedule and you can't do that, find a trusted individual that can be that person for you. Um, that would, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what's been the biggest source of stress for you lately?
Mm, what a great question. I try to remain as stress free as possible.
Yeah, you're pretty good, at least on the front. I don't like know on the front side of it. You seem like not a whole lot phases you or like freaks you out.
Yeah.
I would say for me, uh, work has a big impact on my like stress level like right now, and getting like household stuff done is like starting to take a back burner. I need to kind of do all that so like it all jumbles together. So it's just because uh sorry, I have somebody that keeps calling me. um so when work gets super stressful and busy, that obviously takes priority. So then like personal stuff falls behind and then it just gets more stressful because I have more stuff to do. So I would say the combination of work and behind on personal stuff.
Yeah. I know for me like stress, I try not to be stressed out about debt, but there are times where it'll get to me, but I uh I try to get ahead of it. So,
Yeah.
paying off that debt as fast as I can.
Yeah, sometimes, especially like in today's economy and how everything is like even uh even like our previous generations bills and stuff, it was so much easier for them as an 18-year-old to move out and get on their own than now,
Yeah.
because rent's sometimes more expensive than a mortgage. And when you have this stuff, it's just, it stresses you out, and
Mhm.
there's not a whole lot you can do when money's already tight. So having, a house and everything to take care of and do on top of like the market and the economy's kind of screwy right now. So it just makes everything tight. So it makes tackling that debt a little harder, especially like a mortgage. I would love to be able to double my mortgage payment every month.
Yeah.
It's just not in the books to
Yeah.
do it.
It stinks too because we live in a generation where a lot of people in their 20s, early 20s especially, feel like they have an obligation that they need to move out. Like it's just wired in their head, like, hey, I need to get out of here. And if their living situation, I know there's some living situations that are not, good, but when you're in a good living situation and you just feel you have to move out, why?
Yeah, don't. Like,
If you're paying a very small rent, which in your mind you think's a lot, like if your parents or whoever you're living with is charging you 300-400 bucks, maybe you're just paying the water bill, you're cutting the grass. That's what I'm doing. You're paying the water bill, cutting the grass, um, just things like that. Why are you choosing to leave? Like, unless you found a house that you can afford and stuff, it just to me it's crazy. Because like if you're in that situation, this is like an example I have. If you're in that situation where you're in a okay stable house, you have your own bedroom, even if it's in a like a somewhat questionable state. If you have your own bedroom, maybe a walkout basement, or just somewhere you can just exit without being seen, you'd rather go pay like up to $2,000 a month for an apartment, which newsflash, guys, $2,000 a month on an apartment, that money is going nowhere
no,
for your
it
benefit.
benefits you nothing. It's
Yeah.
just going down the toilet. Now, I mean, I'd say the benefit of that is,
Wi-Fi, water bill, and stuff's paid for.
yeah, usually everything with that price level in an apartment, everything's included.
Yeah.
And you get like a pool and a fitness center and all that. Cool, I get it. But you're not building equity,
No.
and it's just costing you more
You're
money.
better off going and finding like a somewhat broken down house for maybe up to 1,500 a month, and then you pay up to 300 for utility, and then you slowly start to pay that house off, and you either sell it within the next few years and you can double your profit because you slowly fix that house up, or you keep it forever pay it off, and then sell it, you're still making profit regardless because house values, no matter where they at, for some weird reason, are going up. So
Well, and even if like so let's say 2008 happened again, guess what? It's going to rebound.
yeah,
Just hold on to it.
yep,
Like all the like more wealthy people the common denominator usually is they own property. They own not one or two, they own multiple properties.
yep,
But to kind of stem back to what you were saying is this advice is, I guess, only good if you have a healthy home
yeah.
environment.
Like if you need to get out of the house, I
Yeah.
get it. Like there are situations I've heard about there where people like their parents or whoever they're living with is really beating them down, maybe even taking all their money from them. And so they're like, I'd be better off going and spending $2,000 on a house or an apartment per month. Like that's actually saving me money. Then yes,
Yeah. It's saving them money, it's saving their mental health.
yeah, get out, save your mental
Yeah.
health, save your money.
Yeah. But no, if you have a fantastic home environment, and I'm saying this to you, 17, 18-year-olds if you're listening, and early 20 people. If you live in a healthy environment at home, stay there and save as much money as you possibly can. And if you want to look for a house, that's fine. Save as much money as you can. Live as debt free as you can. That way, when you find somebody, you get married, you can put, 20% down on a house. You can
Yep.
save a little bit of money, buy a little bit more rundown house, put some work into it. Then you have more equity built into the house. So you put 20% down, you fixed it up, you have a lot of equity in the house.
Yeah. I feel like too, if you feel like you're in a okay, like if you're in if you're like 18 or 19, I feel like there's a lot of people there who feel that their parents are being too pushy or something, and that's why they want to move out. Evaluate that before you go. I
Yeah.
know it's a little off topic, but call out to the parents too. Like take a step back. Are they caring for you? Are they caring too much? And then maybe have a talk with them about it. But I would say just, don't move out because your parents are like being, unless they're super, super bad, but if they're being just a little pushy, then like
Something,
a
I,
conversation could fix that.
yeah. And having that conversation so when you do turn 18 is so, which this is way off topic, but a good conversation. So when you turn 18, and this is something I would say eventually when I have kids, I'm going to do, is when you turn 18, we're going to sit down and have a conversation. Say, do you want no bills, but you're going to follow the rules I put into play? Or do you want minimal bills? You're going to help out with utilities or, whatever. You're going to help around the house. You're going to take care of the yard. I'm not going to mow the grass anymore. You're going to take care of the yard. You're going to do all the yard projects. You're going to have responsibilities and you're going to help out slightly financially and you'll have more freedoms. So if I'm going to pay, let's say the household bills is $2,000 and I pay $500 worth of those bills, I think that gives that 18-year-old some freedoms
Yeah.
because, hey, I'm a contributing in the household now. I'm not saying this is bad, but maybe not having a curfew, not having to ask permission to go do stuff because now you're an adult. I'm helping pay bills. I think you should have those freedoms to come and go as you please without, oh, hey, can I go do this? But if you're not paying anything, your parents are still doing all that, and you're not doing yard work or anything, I think your parents are in the right for saying, hey, if you're going to live here free of charge, we're going to have some rules.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean there?
Yeah. No, I get it. I feel like it can be different for every household, and I feel like everyone does do it differently. So, like I've seen households where the person doesn't have to pay rent, they don't have to do anything, and they can just live there scot free and um cool. For me, I felt the obligation. Like I wasn't sat down or talked to at all about, rules and this and that. I felt like I had an obligation to be like, hey, I'm living here. I have money. I'm making money. I should probably help out. So, I actually talked to my parents like, hey, can I pick up the water bill? I'm like, yeah, you can pick up the water bill. So,
Yeah. So I pretty much it was the day I turned 18, I started paying bills. And so it wasn't as hard to move out because I was already paying bills.
yeah.
And so it wasn't like that big of a jump. And then there's some other reasons on top of that. So, uh, But I guess we'll uh we'll jump back on topic. Um,
Do you think our generation faces unique stress compared to our parents?
that's a good one. Kind of. I would say mm, we have uniquely more stress compared to the previous generation just because of technology and social media. And I will say social media has a huge part to play in
Yeah, it does.
mental health because everybody wants to fit into this cookie cutter without understanding that nobody fits in that cookie cutter. You don't have to be the popular person. You don't have to be the
It's
skinniest
fake.
person. Yeah, you don't have to be fake. Just be real. And who cares what I know? Like, we all care what people think about us, but you have to stop. Is it worth it? Like, if I have to change who I am to be friends with these people, is it really worth that?
Yeah,
Or can I be real, be who I am, have good mental health, be friends with these people?
right. Yeah, if you're in a friend group where they expect you to be all that, a bag of grapes, just leave.
Yeah, find a better friend group.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna sit there and work for a friendship if
No,
it's yeah, I'm not working. Well, I mean, in the way of like work to impress.
yeah, like I'm not gonna like change. Let's say I'm just gonna use this as an example. I'm not gonna go change like because I'm hanging out with sports people and I have sports friends and all that. I'm not gonna start playing sports and go buy all the sports gear and do everything just to fit in with them.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be who I am. Like,
yeah,
cool, you guys are into sports. I'm not really into sports, but we can still be friends. You know?
yeah. Like when I say work toward like it's like you said, you're not gonna buy all the nice stuff to relate to them. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's okay to work on friendships and stuff
yeah,
when it comes to arguments, but don't.
and in friend groups, there's a diverse. There's a lot of diversity in a friend group.
Yeah,
You have the nerd. I mean, I'm not saying this meanly. You have the nerd, the techie people. You have the bookworms. You have the gamers. You have that little kind of posse. It's just different, and everybody has their own
yeah.
thing.
Like I have friend groups that consist of like chess nerds, John and a couple of his our friends, um, mechanic guys, some sports dudes. They're really my coworkers though. I'd call them friends, but I don't really keep up with the sports. I'll have someone. This is funny. So we had young adults this Thursday, right? And one of the guys walked up to me. I don't know why he thought I was a baseball connoisseur. He's like, "Will, did you know that the Reds and this team are playing tonight?" And I'm like, "Sure."
So you know where that?
He's like, "So this and this and this and this and this and this happened. The Reds are 11 and they're 11 right now. They caught back up." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's sick." And so the next day, this is funny. I walk up to my coworker who's all about baseball, and I'm like, "Hey, so I heard the Reds came back yesterday." He's like, "Yeah, they did." He could tell I heard. I always say I heard from someone, so I'm not gonna sit there and tell him I watched the game because I didn't.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Yeah, they did. They did this and this and this and that." Exactly what the other guy was telling me. I was like, "That's cool."
No, you know where that conversation stemmed from, because when I went, I wore so I just grabbed
Yeah,
a
that's right.
polo and it was a Reds polo,
Yeah,
and I the same person. He's like, "Oh, so what'd you think of this?" And I'm like, "Uh, I'm not really into sports." And he's like, "But you're wearing." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I just have it because if I'm going to the Reds game, like I'm gonna throw something on," and I'm like, "I just grabbed a polo."
yeah,
I literally switched from a company polo to whatever I had. This is what it was for the day.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Um, what's your go-to stress relief?
Um, it depends. So I've progressed over my 20s. So yeah, it was my early 20s when I worked at the dealership. It was working out and going to the gym, throwing on headphones, walking the treadmill or doing whatever. I'd say now is like drives. So going on a drive or like turning music on. And when I say turn music on, like all the way up and just kind of vibing out with it. Um, Sitting on the back porch listening to music, just kind of chill, enjoying like nature. I would say that mostly. I would say music. Music's mostly.
Yeah.
Food I would say comes second because I'm a stress eater. If I'm stressed out, I'm eating. But then I have two different. If I'm like stressed, I won't eat. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So I got like different levels of it. What about you?
Um, I'm probably with you on that. Well, like it's been different stages. Like when I was in high school, it was gaming a lot. Like, but I feel like that was just my reward for getting done with school, and school was stressful. So to me, that was like my relaxation, my calm down moment. Um, I feel like yeah, driving, riding a motorcycle and stuff too is also a good one. Um, again, for me, I'm not really much of a stress guy, but I will say I think there's a question that we skipped up there because it talked about like yeah, like have you ever had a moment of stress where you completely shut down? And I kind of want to relate it to that moment because like I guess for me this is a funny story to any outside listener, but to me I was freaking out. Um I was working on my car once, my 2019 Subaru Outback, and I had done some research on replacing the wheel hub on my own, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. It's gonna get a hub puller and buy the hubs. I bought the hubs pretty cheap. I take the passenger rear wheel off, take everything apart, and for any other vehicle, a hub puller would do the trick, pull the hub right off. Instead, the hub puller just defaced the front of the hub, and so I have this just square. So for anyone who's not mechanically inclined, which that's okay. If brakes are probably the most common thing people know, but um, it just imagine right like a circle attached to a square, and that square is attached to my car. The circle is supposed to assist in getting this square off because the square, again, is fixed onto the car. It took that circle off, so the square is stuck to the car. To get the square off, there's not really a solution to that. You can Google it, you can look up. People have had some interesting scientific ways that I tried to attempt with the tools I had, but I couldn't. In the build up onto that stress more, my birthday was coming up. I was flying a buddy out from Florida. I was trying to fix it before he got here because I was like, oh, this would be cool to like have a working, because like the wheel hub noise is annoying. I was like, it'd be
Yeah.
cool to have all this done before he gets here, quiet car. And so I'm freaking out. I'm like, dude, I just completely shut down. Like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I think we should just go scrap the car. And I wasn't that far yet. I think there's also like a mixture in my head. I called mechanic shop. They told me they'd do the installation for like $300, which at the time I was like, wow, that's expensive. I'm not gonna do that. Um, about 400, maybe $500 later, I finally had that hub fixed. I had a guy come out, and for a, a handsome amount of money, he got it off and in turn damaged the knuckle that it was attached to. And then I went and bought a new knuckle with, again, an old hub attached to it. And guess what happened when I tried to pull that hub off? Just defaced the hub again. Took it to a shop who had like a professional press. It cracked their cast iron circle that they used to press it out. Like it cracked. That's how welded these hubs are to Subarus.
Now, if you
And
go down south, they don't have that issue. They just pop right out.
yeah. And so I put a bunch of anti-seize on that darn thing when I put it back in there.
For the next owner.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, this came out super easy. I don't know what everybody in the forums is
Yeah, I
talking
put
about.
so much anti-seize in there. But the point is in the moment I was super stressed because I thought like I'm paying for a car that I'm probably never gonna get fixed. In my mind I felt like I was never gonna get it fixed. And like I'd already tried to call a mechanic shop a couple days prior, and they told me they'd come out the next morning and do it for pretty cheap. And I was getting all excited. I went to work. My boss was like, "Here, try this." And so like I had texted that mechanic like, "Hey, never mind. I don't want to do it anymore." because this is gonna work. Like I'm thoroughly convinced this is gonna work. I tried it, didn't work. So then I called that company back and they doubled their money on me. Told me they'd come out and do it, but it's gonna double. I'm like, I thought we had talked about this price, and he's like, well, oh, it's the weekend and blah blah blah. I'm like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, I hate it when like vehicle projects don't turn out, and that's usually when I sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it
Well,
back together
you
enough.
couldn't sell that as is. Like it literally didn't have a wheel on it, and there's no way to get the wheel back on it unless I put the hub on.
I'd have just put the hub.
Yeah, but in that so in that stress relief moment, it was prayer, a lot of it. Like I remember just sitting and praying, and then also, I know I might be wrong, a little distraction by watching TV. I don't remember what I was watching at the time, but because I think I talked on our first episode how many shows I went through. Um, but recently though, I wouldn't say it's like it could be a stress relief because I like to be I'm a lone wolf kind of guy. I like to be alone a lot. So, um, for me, like a stress relief is at the end of the day, just going, doing my own thing, being a couch potato. And I don't even have to I don't have to be doing anything. Just as long as I'm just chilling, I'm fine.
Yeah, I would say when I'm like stressed out, where I'm like shutting down, is I'm pretty social, and when I'm like super stressed out or like anxiety or whatever, I kind of bundle it all together because it all stems from each other.
Yeah.
I just like don't plan anything, and in here it's yeah, I'm busy. Like, oh, I'm busy, I can't do that or whatever.
Yeah.
When in turn, it's just like I'm stressed out, I'm overwhelmed, I just need chill time. So then, yeah, I'll sit on the couch, veg out, watch TV, listen to music, do whatever, just kind of like chill. So, uh, and then have you relied on any bad coping mechanisms for stress and anxiety?
I see there's like examples here: overspending, avoidance, sleeping it away. Um, yeah, I don't say I would say I'm an overspending kind of person, but really I'm not because I'll look at something like I don't need to do that. Like I'll look at my bank account like that, but I shouldn't buy this. So like in stressful moments, no, there are like stupid purchases I make, but it's not because of stress things. Avoidance, um, it can be sometimes, but in most occasions I like to try to hit the stress head on.
I would say I don't avoid it. It's hard to like word it. So in like an argument or something,
You give it time.
I'm a slow thinker. So if I have too much, like let's say I have personal issues and stuff going on, and I also have work issues, and both, like let's say I got uh coworkers or something, or a boss or whatever chaos is going on at work, and I'm trying to deal with that, and then I'm dealing with stress from like personal, and they're like coming together, like trying to intertwine with each other. I'm like, stop. I can't have this conversation right now.
Yeah,
And so like obviously because I'm working,
separate
I
them.
can't tell like my boss that. So like I have to tell my like family or whatever. Like I can't talk about it right now. I can't. And so I'm not like avoiding it. It's like genuine. I can't talk about it because I need to process it.
Yeah,
And I don't like emotion based arguments because it like it,
it leads to anger.
yeah, it makes you angry. It's more stressful. So I would say if that's a bad habit, then yeah, I'm a little avoidant
I
because
don't.
I'll push it off
I don't
and
think it's a
then
bad habit.
deal with it later.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think that you talk about a busy work schedule. So yeah, I think there's a very big window there where you definitely need to separate work stress and personal stress, and you don't need to bring those together. So by separating it, yeah, that's good. So like, let's say if you're working 8 hours of the day, those 8 hours are that's work stress, and then when you get off of work stress, you get off of work. now you're on to personal, which it can bleed over a little bit. You can't really prevent.
Yeah, but
But
where I would say I avoid is I won't go back.
mm,
Is I'll push it off and then I'll just be so like engrossed in whatever that I'm like, whatever, I really don't like whatever, and just not deal with it and then still have those like feelings
yeah, okay.
and then just not go back. I'll just avoid, I guess, yeah, I would say my bad coping has it avoid because I just avoid the person or I won't interact with them
Yeah.
instead of like going back and like, okay, let's talk about this.
I guess that's where you and me are opposite. Because for me, like when someone's not agreeing with me on something, or they're trying to run away, or they're mad at me, for me, I like to try to hit it head on and interrogate it. Like, what did I do wrong? Because genuinely, I may not know, or I do know. And I'm like, okay, if this offended you, how can we fix it? And then even the same for me, like I'll come to a person like, hey, I just want to know, I just want to let you know that like you said something the other day and it really like hit home for me, and like it'd be cool if you didn't do that again, or um like, hey, I see your viewpoint on this is different than mine. Like, maybe it's a little hurtful to me, or I'm just curious. I don't really think things are hurtful to me. I just get curious. Like I may not agree with it, so my curiosity strikes me, and I like to take a deeper dive into the individual's perspective. Um, but I've never really avoided a person because of a conflict.
Yeah, so I would say I'm better, which I don't understand. Which I guess if I go to like a therapist or somebody like they would help me
Yeah.
because I don't understand why um I can have more crucial conversations at work than like in personal life.
Hmm.
So like if I have like two of the exact same situations, I can deal with the one at work way easier than I can like personally. And I guess it's because
Kind of obligated to fix it at work.
yeah, you're obligated to fix it at work, and two is I tend to have a saying in my head when I'm having those conversations. It's just business. It's not personal. It's business.
Yeah.
And when we're gonna have that conversation, is where I take the emotion out of it and I present the facts. Here's the facts. Here's what I need to do. Here's what you need to do. I think it's more structured,
Yeah.
and you take the emotion out of it. But then on the personal side, I can't say it's just business because it's not business. It's personal,
Yeah.
and I think it's harder to deal with that.
Well, if you think it'd be better to hypothetically apply that it's just business, right? It's like you can go into that being like, this is, it's not, but in your brain, you're like, this is just business. So that way your brain will instantly organize it how you organize it at work.
Yeah, and I guess my anxiety of that would be
How the other person's going to respond.
how the other person's going to respond because I can
At work, it
100%.
could be like brutally.
I can be blunt,
Yeah.
and personally, I can't
Yeah.
because if I took that approach, then everybody would be like, you're an a-hole.
Yeah.
So that's where I struggle with that is like I would say my biggest thing, my bad coping mechanism is avoidance, or it ties in a couple of things. But even like when I'm feeling like super anxious, like if there's an event or something I'm feeling super anxious about, or I don't want to be at because there's going to be so many people. I don't, by the way, announce if anybody, I don't know about you. Do you have social anxiety? Like with large groups of people and like small areas?
I don't think it's anxiety as much as like, I just don't like big crowds. Maybe it could be social anxiety, but I hate the idea of just, yeah, I guess it could be social anxiety because crowds of people just drive me nuts.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Not like
say
a
that's
point where
exact.
I'm shaking in my boots,
No,
like I'm scared. I just get mad because I'm like, I gotta break through these people to get to my car.
yeah, that I would say that's social anxiety. So like,
Yeah.
something I didn't notice until like after COVID is grocery stores. I get stressed out. So if if I can get my groceries delivered like Kroger or Meyer delivery, I'm doing it. And I think it's because I'm a like task person and I don't know where everything's at in the store. Like I promise you, they rotate stores like 4 times a year,
Yeah.
and I can't find anything. I can scroll through the app and find exactly what I need and do it. But when I'm in a store with everybody moving around. Like I try to be polite too, and people are rude,
Yep.
and I think that just like adds another level of anxiety there.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm a task oriented person too. So like we was talking about this before we started the episode because we was talking about like stuff to eat before the podcast, and I had mentioned Roosters, which is like a really good wing because we had wings, and I was like, yeah, but they probably don't deliver. And John was like, yeah, DoorDash, or I was like, you can do anything through the DoorDash. I'm like, but I'm the kind of person where like if I'm eating or I need to go get something, I'm not gonna order it well, unless it's Amazon. That's different. But like I don't order food and stuff off Amazon. Like if I'm looking to get food or something to drink, I'm not gonna order it online. I'm either gonna drink something from home or eat something from home or cough it up and go get it. Like suck it up and go get that item. And so like for me, I'll occasionally go to the store and get Lord knows what. And a lot of the times, like I do know where it's at, but there are situations where like a parent or a friend will send me into the store and be like, "Hey, go grab this oddball thing that I have no idea where it's at." And I feel like as far as finding the aisle goes, that's not stressful to me. It's like you said, the people and like you'll walk down an aisle and someone's just blocking the whole row with their shopping cart, and you can even go up and say, "Excuse me," they're not going to move.
Well, and then they'll like give you a dirty look, like I'm sorry, like you're blocking the whole aisle. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do? I'm not gonna walk around this aisle to get to that aisle. By the time I come back, you're gone. You know what I mean?
I've had situations where I'll look down the aisle and I'm starting to walk down it. I'm just like, just turn around and walk away. I'm like, I'm not even gonna try these guys.
I would say something else that stresses me out too is the amount of options. So let's say you want to get green beans, canned green beans.
Yeah,
You have about 15 options there.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. What green beans do I want? They're all different prices. They all look the same.
The messed up part is like if you do that for an individual that's not you. So like, let's say my mom, for example, sends me out to go grab a can of beans. If I grab a can of beans and it's a different brand,
They're mad.
they're mad. Like these taste different. I'm like, what do you mean they're green beans? How can they taste different than the next can?
I will say I'm like that on certain things. So, like, I target certain brands because I know it tastes the same, or I've tried two or three of the brands and it tastes different. But if I send somebody like you into the store to get that,
You're gonna tell me the brand.
I'm going to tell you the exact item. Hey, I need you to get this sauce or this exact. I'm specific, and if I can, I'll send you a snippet of it.
Yeah.
But and then I guess my second man, you need to stress more because you need more. I guess my other bad habit, because you brought it up, is DoorDash. And I'd say I'd overspend on that. Is if I'm stressed and everything, I'm not going out. I will DoorDash it to my door, or yeah, I'll DoorDash it to my door and I'll eat it.
Yeah.
So like Roosters, if I was stressing out and just isolating myself, 100%. I'm not gonna. I've This one's awful. I have DoorDash Chick-fil-A before.
It's right down the street.
And it is right down the street. All I have to do is hop my butt in the car, drive up there, drive through. I can even place it through the app. And I did catch myself one day doing that. I'm like, dude, stop. Get in the car and go do it. You ever have those mental arguments with yourself?
I think that I've come to the conclusion where like I feel like if I'm in that state, I know that getting out will be good for me. And so that's why I'll do it. It's like in that situation where you say you're stressed and you want to order Roosters or something, I'll tell myself like I know I don't want to do this, but I feel like if I go to Roosters right now and like as much as I'm a lone person, I love to be alone, sitting in a crowd, even talking to the waiter, I feel like that might gain me enough courage to just be back out of that stress.
I know what you mean. Sometimes, but because you live with people,
Yeah.
I live alone. So when I'm in that, nobody really knows
Yeah.
that I'm there. So like, there's nobody to push me to like go out.
I don't get pushed. It's a self thing. Like you have to do it yourself.
Yeah. So I'm.
So like you need to get up. Like you need to tell yourself, I need to go to like imagine DoorDash isn't even an option, and you'd be like, I need to go,
I would starve.
or get a hold of someone.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to go eat at Roosters?
It's not gonna. That's a battle. Internal. Once again, I should probably go to therapist for that. But yeah, if I'm internalizing that, I lose a lot of arguments to myself. Like, oh, you should get up and go do this. Like, no, I really don't.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna chill here. But um, and then this. So we talked about this a little bit. But so, do you think young adults glamorize burnout, or are we just better at self care? So, on my perspective on this is, I think we're a little bit better at self care
Yeah.
than like even I would say like previous generations. Like how many's like dads and everybody have, oh yeah, I worked. I never took a day off. I worked for 40 years. I never took a sick
I
day.
didn't have time to stress.
Yeah.
Too busy working.
Yeah. So I think we take more initiative of it. And especially like I'm getting ready to book a week vacation to just not like do anything. So take stuff around the house, take care of the house.
Self care.
Yeah, self care. Uh, and I think companies now are starting to promote that a little bit more, where instead of like before, where you could bank vacation time, and they're like, oh yeah, we don't want you to use your PTO. You can unlimited, just keep adding it on, just don't use it. For those guys that are, oh, I never take a day off. But now it's use or lose it. So you've got 4 weeks of vacation, or you got 5 weeks of vacation. December 31st, if it's not taken, it's gone.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
Is it forces you to do it. And which I guess this is the progression of the world, is that they notice employee burnout. And so like our company, they want you to take like a week off every quarter to reset, recharge your batteries. Um, they actually promote, don't take your laptop, don't take your work phone, sign out of your Microsoft 365 account. And they just kind of try to leave you be. Whatever the issue is, it can wait.
Yeah.
So I would say we do take better self care nowadays as young adults.
I didn't think about that use it or lose it thing. Because I guess for me, I started with that because I first worked side jobs. Like I worked behind. Uh, I didn't have like an official pay stub or anything. So like my first job, what I'm doing right now, maintenance. Like yeah, if I have 2 weeks vacation and I'm going over that, it's use it or lose it. Uh, I funny enough for me, I'd rather cash it out. Actually, no, like for my PTO, that's called comp time for me. But I build it up and I actually use that instead of my vacation. It's funny because I can use it. I can use it as vacation time, or I can use like right now. It's technically like a backup savings account because I can pull that whenever I want. It's like if I have 40 hours built up in it, I can pull that 40 hours.
Get an extra paycheck.
Yeah,
that's nice, but not good for your mental health.
Right.
Because I do think like it's a big thing. You do need time away from work.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So my advice to the young 20 somethings, and even if you're older listening to this, use your vacation time.
Take some time off.
Take time off, spend it with your family, spend it with your friends. Even if you're not like, even if like money's tight, you can go find relatively cheap places to stay. Oh yeah, park, yeah. But you can do staycations. You can do a weekend getaway.
Yeah. Don't take too much time off though, because there are people out there who will use everything they got and not have any sort of hours left.
Yeah, no.
I do say like as much as we glamorize self care and stuff, it may be a little touchy to some people because it might actually hit home. But there's a lot of people out there who like don't like to work. They don't. I mean, who does? But when you do work, you need to give effort. You know what I mean? Like there are people out there who will just not do it. And there's a lot of people out there who are job surfing and they're wondering why in the world am I not getting a job? Look at your work ethic.
Yeah.
Look at it seriously. Because if you're going to work like dreading it, like you have to amp yourself up. Amp yourself up to get to work.
I don't think there's ever been like, I don't want to say this negatively, but are you excited to go to work on Monday?
I mean, actually as a maintenance tech, it's really not terrible. Like there are some projects I don't look forward to.
No, I mean like in general, like on Monday mornings, are you waking up excited? Yes, I get to go to work.
Oh man. I mean, in the mornings, I'm typically very sick from allergies, so no.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I have ever maybe on like my first day of work or something, but I don't think I ever wake up like, whoa, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm ready for work. You gotta.
I'm a slow burn. Like I gotta take my allergy pill, drink my cup of coffee. I get into work at around 9 o'clock. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, I usually. So I love how off topic we get. So like my morning routine. So I wish I could get a timed morning routine, but I can wake up from anywhere from 4:30 to like 9, just because depending on my location for the day,
yeah,
depends on how long the drive's going to be and everything. So I wake up, let the dogs out. Uh, Depending on my energy that morning, I'll start with coffee, go take a shower, get dressed, grab my coffee, grab like my cooler for the day, and then leave. But that drive, I am not awake until I finish either my coffee or my energy drink. And if I don't have that, I'm like a zombie
yeah,
all day.
yeah. It's funny to see how people have like their morning habits, and if it gets broken, it totally ruins them.
My day is so if I ever oversleep, so you're the same way. You're the same way, like punctuality wise. If you're on time, so if we say, hey, this is at 5 o'clock, I'm showing up at like 4:45, 4:50.
Yeah,
So if you're on time, you're late. That's in my
yeah,
book. So if I oversleep, one, I call it my response time. No matter how much I oversleep, I have to do my morning routine. So when it does that, I'm trying to rush through it. I'm freaking out. And then like the whole rest of my day is just, I feel like I'm behind
yeah.
and it just ruins my day if I like oversleep.
I guess for me, my morning routine doesn't have to happen. So like if I oversleep, I will rush there as fast as I can. So like I'll skip my coffee. I'll forget to take my allergy meds
Oh,
and I'll get there because I've done that before. Um, but no, last week someone had attempted to break into one of our buildings. And so this is actually kind of funny for me. I guess this really breaks into this morning routine thing because so this is the second week in a row this has happened. I'll make my cup of coffee. I get to work. I don't drink it until I get to work. I get to work 30 minutes early so I can drink my coffee in my car, read my Bible, watch YouTube, do whatever I want. So I get there, and everyone at my work knows this. I should have told them. Why did I tell them that? Anyway, I pull in. I'm drinking my cup of coffee. This is the first week. I took a sip. I'm like, man, this is the most elite cup of coffee I've ever made, bro. It's going to be a great day. I get a text message. Will, someone's stuck in the elevator. Go help them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And like, I'm not bringing that cup of coffee in. For me, it's ruined. And so I'm like, I'm like, cup of coffee. I'm raising it over top of the elevator guy. Like, save him.
the guy can
Like
wait.
he needs 30 minutes to simmer on what he just did while I drink my coffee. I'm like, no, I gotta go get him. So I go, I clock in. He was out of the elevator by the time I even got in there,
Bruh.
and it was in the span of 3 minutes.
Bruh.
But
I would have stayed clocked in and walked back to my.
I could have. And then the next week, I'm sitting in my car again, drinking my cup of coffee. And no, wait, this was before I even got into my parking spot. And so I'm taking my turns, and I get a phone call from my boss. He's like, "Hey, Will, someone just broke into this building. I know you're gonna be there in a couple minutes. Can you clock in and come help me?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, dude, I can't drink my cup of coffee." And so I park. I take one or two sips. I'm like, another elite cup of coffee I just made, and it's gonna go to waste. So I gotta clock in.
I, I,
But go ahead.
I was gonna say I hate when like the day pops off before the day like starts. It's like, bruh, I didn't even finish my energy drink yet. We're starting with this. Come on.
But what's even funnier is like for me, like okay, I can break that. That's okay. I'm fine. Like I don't have to drink my cup of coffee. I'll be a little bit tired. Sure, I'll walk it off. My boss, on the other hand, I walk up this site, broken glass everywhere, and he's like, dude, I haven't taken my shower yet this morning. It is like I am not awake. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, dude. Like this is crazy. It's like to help him clean up. He's like, all right, I gotta go home and shower because like it's been an hour and I'm still not feeling it. I'm like, go take your shower, dude. Like we're fine here. I'll babysit the building. But yeah, it is funny how like if someone breaks their morning schedule, it ruins them.
Yeah. Now I'm with your boss 100%. I cannot leave my house in the morning without showering.
Yeah.
Like, period. I can't. I don't care how late I am. I'm still taking a shower.
Uh,
Oh wow, that's a good one.
did the mic hear that?
I'm pretty sure the mic heard that one.
I burped away from the mic, and I think it got heard. It'll probably get muted, but whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever been scared to tell someone you were struggling mentally? Did we talk about that already? Just a second.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, we haven't. I would say yes when you feel like you don't have. So, like, let's say you're lacking a trusted person, and so, like, I would say this is a couple years ago for me is when you don't feel like you have that trusted person and you don't have time for therapy. It's yeah, you're scared because you don't know who do I trust,
Yeah.
and your mind starts, especially when you have anxiety, your mind starts going a million miles an hour, and you can't think, and you're just, I would say, like self imploding. And so yeah, I would say I've had that before of uh I don't know who I can talk to. I don't know who I can trust. We had some family stuff happen, and I was like, what on earth? Like everything I taught or everything like I knew wasn't real. And or it was transcribed wrong and just nothing was right. And like I remember there was a day I was on the highway and I was actually on my like drive to like try to clear my head. And during that I kept getting a couple phone calls about the issue, and I was like, I'm done. I can't talk about this right now. I've got so much going on, so much to process. I just can't. And then I remember it was actually Andy, and I wonder. I actually do want to talk to him about this sometime. Just ask him like, what did you do? Is I just like dumped. I called him and I was like, dude, I'm like, I just need somebody to talk to right now. And he's like, what's up? Like, dude, what's up? Like, do you want me to come over? I'm like, no, I'm driving on the highway right now. And I'm like, and I dumped on him. I started bawling my eyes out. And I think it was like a half hour, 45-minute conversation of just Andy being there listening and like dumping everything. And like, I forget what he said at this point, which I kind of feel bad, that's why when I like talk to him, like, hey, when I called you that day, like, what happened? Like, what did you say? What happened? Because like, I don't know if this is like something in me mentally, like super like difficult times and stuff like that. It like gets blocked out of my memory. So I can't like quickly pull it up. And like I mentioned this to you a while ago is like memory recall. I can't remember like if you said, "Oh, did you watch this movie?" and blah 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 blah. No, I don't remember that movie. I don't think I've ever watched it. And then you start saying specifics about it, then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, 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 I watched that movie."
Yeah.
But to get back to that is I struggled with that for a little bit, and yeah, you please, if you're younger or even older listening to this, because you guys still have stress too, is you need to sit down and be intentional with your inner circle and identify and find that person you can trust. And sometimes it's a family member,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a sibling, sometimes it's an aunt and uncle that can sit there and be your person. And if you don't, and you have the time and you have insurance, because therapy is not free,
No.
gotta love, you know, our economy and our world where I'm not saying like give it all away for free, but if we're gonna talk, everybody needs to have good mental health, but it's like $150 an hour to have mental health.
Yeah.
I, you know, uh, but find that person that you can talk to and you can trust to work through it together. And then if you are gonna be that person, make sure you are prepared to take that and to it was a TikTok saying, but it kind of stuck is we listen and we don't judge.
Yeah.
So let's listen. Let's not judge. Let's not be like, oh, I'm so much better than this person, especially if you are that trusted person. Take it in, let them decompress. And sometimes that's all they need. They just need somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Uh, decompress and then slowly process it and talk it out with them and work through that. Um, I think that's, I would say that's pretty good. I mean, that's what you need.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Just popped right out of my head. Um, yeah, I'm with you. Some people even will just talk and not want any response. Like I've gotten phone calls from people who are like, "Hey, I'm gonna dump this on you, but I don't want any response." And I'm like, "Lay it on me."
I have a,
Uh,
sorry, I have a couple people that are like that, that I literally have to say when we start the conversation, because I know when they're like having a hard time. Hey, before we start, do you want me to fix the problem or do you want me to just listen?
yeah. Now, don't confuse like a helpful response with questions because for me, like they'll be in the middle like their rant. I'm like, hold on a minute. What did that person in particular do to make you feel this way, or what did your response trigger in that person? And then because like for me, like yeah, you're ranting to me, and it's like kind of almost seems like a one-ended story. So for me, like I want to know the perspective of the other person, even though I'm not helping. I want to know the perspective still, and just be a curious-minded person because I feel like there's still more.
I would I would say something on that, that it really does help in arguments and disagreements and everything, is stop, take a deep breath, and flip the points of view. Flip the side. You're on their side. What are they thinking?
Yeah,
And that's helped me through a lot of stuff is, and I think that helps like with being an understanding person is, hey, why are they thinking it this way? Why are they feeling this way? Or why are they mad?
yeah.
And getting to that, and it helps you in that argument or disagreement.
In a kind of messed up way, what I just said there, we're all kind of interrogate the conversation. If you take, what am I doing with my? If you, I'm moving my hands like I'm giving like weird gestures, like
Yeah, we're not on video
I'm
yet.
making the Disney Channel signal over here. Uh, if you take an individual who's like they're releasing their stress on you, and you're like, hey, what did this person think? I've had situations where they'll tell me like, okay, this person responded with this and that, which I guess in turn is kind of understandable, I guess, because of how I talk to them. And so then they see like, holy cow, I was half the problem. And so like in a way, with you asking that question during their rant, they're talking and they're fixing the problem themselves.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of talking to themselves at the same time. You're like, I really kind of talked to him mean. I shouldn't have done that. Man, I feel I don't feel too good. I should go talk to that person and like fix this.
But so
And then they're like, at the end, they're like, all right, thanks for letting me rant.
well, yeah, so that works because I think in that heat of the moment, they're not, they're here, they're tunnel visioned,
Yep.
and when you start
You break it.
prompting, it breaks it, and you're like, then they start talking it out through themselves,
Yep.
and I think that's helpful.
Yeah. Um, that question for me up there, um, as messed up as it sounds, I make it known when I'm stressed and I will talk to people about it, but there's a lot of things for me that I can kind of handle between me and God, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Uh, so, or there's like, it's things I've heard like before and I can apply that to that situation.
I would say some issues I can work out myself and just sit there and be like, okay, well, this, I'm feeling this way. Okay, well, I got to do this. And you just sit there and process it. But then there are some times where it's like sensory overload. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I can't deal with this. Um, and then kind of lead into this, uh, and I know I don't want this to like sound weird, but do you think this is where it'd be, if we had a female on here, this would be a good question. Is do you guys or do guys have a harder time talking about mental health than women? I want to say I want to say yes. And what's yours? And then I'll explain why I say yes.
Um, I would say yeah too. I know that a lot of people have grown up with, I think he was talking about it earlier, where men, they never take a day off. They don't have time to themselves, and so we've all kind of just gained that sort of thing. And also, there's a lot of men out there who won't show meekness, and they think it's a strength to not talk about their mental health.
Yeah. I would, so I'm kind of on the same boat. Is this definitely stems back to previous generations, is the man is manly, he needs to do this. You don't cry, you don't have emotion, you don't show emotion, you suck it up and you internalize it,
Yeah.
because having emotions is for the weak. And
It turns into confusion.
yeah, it does. So, and I'm putting this in quotes because prior society, not today, visualized women as weak when they're far from it. Like, we have some awesome female leaders in the world. Let's talk about mothers.
Yeah.
You're telling me mothers are weak? They're raising, 4 kids. They're taking care of a household. They're dealing with that. They're dealing with 5 people's emotions at the same time, dealing with it, processing it, being a mediator. Like, they got a lot.
Oh yeah.
But going back is, yeah, guys are taught, just internalize it, figure it out, be strong. But now today's society is, I think it's, I don't know where I'm going with this. I think it's easier now for guys to talk about mental health issues and talk about their feelings than prior. But I think I want to say it's easier for women, and that we don't have a women's perspective on here right now, so it's hard to talk about it. But in my thought, I think it's easier for women too, because they're more like outgoing socially, and
Yeah.
like they talk to their sisters or they talk to their girlfriends, completely different than how like guys friendships are.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like there's situations where there's like no, there's women who'll go in the locker room and like talk about, they'll rant about random things in the locker room. I'm not going in the locker room and talking about my problems, dude.
No, no.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think
I'm not holding hands in the bathroom stalls. There are women out there who do that garbage, okay, and they think it's cool. I'm not doing that. I'm not going in the stall. Hey, buddy.
yeah. Or even like, like hugging and stuff. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not hugging you in a locker room.
No.
I'm not.
Bareback.
You
Come
can
here, buddy.
you can sit there. You can sit there and cry. I'm not helping you. I'm sorry. You can sit there and cry. I'm walking out and be like,
That.
dude, this dude's crying in there, like, you know. But women, they'll be like, oh my goodness, like, what's wrong? And
Yeah.
they're. I'd say that's where the like nurturing comes in. And I think
Yeah.
they have that. So in their friend group or whatever, when there's something going on and they can sense it, they know when something's not right. No
Yeah.
matter how much you can, like, even like today, like if I'm off, my sisters know. Like like even your mom, I'm willing to guarantee you, your mom knows when you're not having a good day, you're not like all there. I'm pretty sure she knows.
Yeah.
So, I'm, but simple answer is yeah, I think it's easy. It's harder for guys, not so, it's harder for guys to talk about their mental health. But I would say moving forward, it's getting easier because we're kind of breaking that stereotype.
Yeah. How does prayer or reading scripture change how you handle stress?
It's a good one. Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
I actually hold on because I want to tie these two together because I think they go together. So it's how does prayer or reading scripture change how you handle stress? And then is it hard to balance trusting God with still taking action?
Um, I feel like in my times of stress, the biggest story I can relate this to is I feel like I might have came on the podcast and talked about it before. Was when I graduated high school, I had a job lined up with my dad, and so I took it. It was doing intrusion systems. That was when I say intrusion, security systems, cameras, things like that. When I started doing that stuff, um, over time I started to actually lose some of those jobs because there just wasn't a lot of people out there looking for stuff. So I needed to find another job. I counted my chickens because I ended up buying a car that I went dead on, And so I'm losing my jobs, and in turn, I needed money to pay this car off. And so, sorry. And so I'm freaking out. And my first initial thing was to pray to God and put my trust in Him. So trusting God and still taking action. I prayed. I said, "Hey, I just need anything, like just a job." So I kept praying, and then I got a text message from one of my dad's coworkers who worked for that same company. It was our own company, but we had three. There's three owners, and so the one was like, "Hey, I found this guy who owns a moving company. He always needs extra hands. Do you want to go help him?" And so I prayed about it, and I was like, "Yeah." Um, and so it was the prayer answered. Was it something I wanted? No, but it was. I think it was good to see. I always say it was good to see like a perspective of the world a little bit. I got to see because I always grew up in a Christian household around a Christian audience, and so this is the first time I had stepped out of that audience and got to see what the world was like behind that curtain. Um, so I got to experience that a little bit, and also like lose a bunch of weight that I shouldn't have. I lost 30 pounds quick, dude. Um, in a bad way. I wouldn't eat. But anyway, um, mm, and then in those times of there's days where I'd stress out at that job, and I'd learned throughout my life to always think positive, and in situations of stress to always stop, slow down, and pray. Because if you just keep letting that stress build up, you're gonna spaz out and either throw something, say something you don't mean. And so like there was times in that company and even in work today where I'll take time and I'll sit down and pray about it and then come back with a different perspective. Um, and so I feel like also like the reading scripture thing. I think in the morning on my drive over to work, I always listen to Christian music and then I always read my daily Bible verse. I feel like those two things make my days better. Um, I think it makes it easier to deal with stress.
Yeah, for me, I will say so. Whenever I'm like stressed and it's something I work on more is so I'll go for a drive, listen to music and stuff. Definitely the genre of music matters, but when I'm intentional and I'm like I want to say listening to God is I will say praise and worship music can change your thought process and it can be a stress reliever, but listening to praise and worship, it kind of brings you down a little bit and it kind of settles you a little bit. It puts you in the right headspace to be able to, when you go and read, your head's kind of clear and it opens your eyes a little bit to hear what you're actually reading and take it in.
Yeah.
So I think if like you go from, just driving, doing whatever, working to just boom, straight reading, if I do that, yeah, I read, but I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say I'm not a big like reader, so like I don't sit down and read books, and that's where I struggle in my reading is because I'm not a book reader. But that's definitely where I'll find a podcast or I'll find a like sermon, like a prior sermon from church or yeah, that I can sit down and process, read along with it, soak it in. Um, and when I say podcast, like a faith-based podcast. So there's a couple um like young adult scripture, like young adult class style podcasts that go over breakdowns of that in depth through scripture so you can follow along. So that's how I do it and that's how it helps me get me through it, but I'm not always intentional about it. And so I'll be like, "Oh, I'm just too busy." But when I'm intentional about it and I do it, that's how I'll start kind of with praise and worship, get my mind clear, get in the right headspace, kind of level out and then listen to that and then like when I say be intentional, I'm not driving, I'm at home or I'm in my hotel room and I can follow along on my iPad.
Yeah.
Um, and then I guess we'll kind of slowly wind down. Um, what's one piece of advice you would give your younger self about mental health?
Um, I think I think it's just again the think positive, share. Uh, I was probably starting high school when I started like to truly apply that think positive attitude. It's easier said than done.
Oh yeah, it's 100%.
Um, but that's what, I started applying it since then and it's changed my life a lot. So if I could apply that earlier, that would have been cool, I guess.
Yeah.
What about you?
Uh, I'm glad it says one small piece of advice because I have like a few. Is obviously I would say find that trusted person, um, and be more open minded with like, and when I say be more open minded, like investigate the person first, make sure that it is truly a trusted person, because I easily trust you until you break me, and then I
Hmm.
don't trust you, and then I'll never trust you again.
Yeah.
So find that truly trusting person that you can talk to, and it's okay to not be okay.
Little secret in case you're curious about like how you find that person. I've always I can't say I've always, but I'll tell them like it's about me, but it's not enough to hurt me kind of thing, but it sounds so damaging. Like here's a piece of information that if you told someone and it got out, it would break me down. And so I'd hand that piece of information to them and let it simmer.
And see if it comes back to
See
you.
where it goes. If it comes back to me from another individual or I
Yeah.
get treated differently, I know that's not a good person.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like to see you should have led with that because I would have been like, well, so this guy named Will, he told me this.
Yeah.
So I would say that. But yeah, is uh
I
and
heard
I
from
would
the grapevine that oh, you did hear from a grapevine. That's crazy because I only told one. Well, I told one person about that.
yeah, and it was you.
Yeah,
uh or no, I
it
wanted because
was
they want to
yeah,
be coming back.
right. Yeah,
Uh but yeah, so I would definitely say it's okay to not be okay and to talk about it, but find that trusted person. Um and then what's one small daily habit you do to stay grounded?
um, I think again, me being a God-centered fellow, I think really that Christian music in the morning too, because there's actually been the more I do that, the more I've realized that I'll even listen to that coming home, and that's not the point. Oh, Christian music. I think it's keeping me in the perspective of a Christian. It keeps me in a Christian mindset, I guess. I'm not saying that I'm not in a Christian mindset all the time. It's just, I guess your perspective changes when you're listening to. I guess I go from Disturbed, the band, Disturbed, Three Doors Down, to Christian music. So when I'm listening to, Three Doors Down, Disturbed, Creed, all those guys, my brain's in a different place. So
You're getting amped up.
yeah, in like a raged way.
Yeah.
Although there are some Creed songs aren't like heavy metal. I'm not talking like heavy metal, heavy stuff. I hate that garbage. But it just changes how your brain views things. So while listening to Christian music, you can almost respond like my response time is a little bit better. I guess I'm more motivated to do like more motivated to read the Bible or give a more positive perspective on things or a more um, I'm a sarcastic person. So when I say positive, I mean a non-sarcastic remark. uh, so I would say, yeah, staying grounded, the daily habit would be that Christian music because I do feel like I fall off sometimes. I won't read my Bible verse. I haven't sent me a notification, so I will eventually. But it's not like in my every morning or like this has to happen at this time routine. Where the Christian music thing, that's every morning in my car. So
I would say so. One, I'm still working through this of finding that exact thing that helps me stay grounded. Uh, but what I will say is talking more about it. with that trusted person or persons and working through the issues and just talking about it. Because I think, especially for me, I process things slower. So if I'm saying it out loud to you, I'm processing it a little bit while they're processing it, and then we can talk back and forth about it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I would say, listen to praise and worship music. I know I'm not trying to like preach to you guys, but it does change our emotion, because if I go from listening to heavy metal, well, I'll preface this. Does your driving style change based on the music you listen to?
It can.
Okay, so for me, 100%. If I'm listening to rock, I am in the fast lane. I'm going, so I would say rock, like hard rock, rap, super upbeat, but like I want to say negative, because like rap music's not always the most positive and uplifting thing. And same thing with rock, like
Yeah.
hard rock. Not the most positive and uplifting thing, especially if you look at the lyrics.
Right.
But then if I switch it and I'm listening to praise and worship, yeah, you can get in front of me.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm still cruising in the fast lane, but I'm like not riding the person's bumper in front of me or like zigzagging lanes. I'm just like chilling. I'm vibing, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, that's how I would stay grounded. But the biggest thing, which I'm still working on, is just talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Uh, I feel like we repeat that and beat that into the head this episode, is you have to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Um, and then, actually something else I would talk about is, especially if you are involved in church, even if you're not involved in church, is we call it accountability. So it's a group of 2 or 3 small, it's a very small group. You meet once a month, whatever, once a month, once a week, every other week. And that's where you talk and share and do all that. And once again, it's got to be with trusted people you feel comfortable with. But have that person, because if, let's say, me and you are in an accountability group and hey, I'm struggling with this. If I don't communicate with you in, within 3 days or within 2 days, call me.
Yeah.
So have that person to hold you accountable, that, hey, if I'm struggling with this, I have this person that, hey, if he calls me, like if I don't call him and check in with him, talk to him, he's going to call me. And then it prompts you to, you're going to communicate with that person. So
Yeah.
if that's something you need somebody to hold you accountable, and not just in mental health, but in worldly things. If you're struggling, let's say with drinking or looking at stuff you shouldn't, have that person that you can be honest with. Or if you're doing something that you shouldn't, call that person and then help you get out of it. You know what I mean? But, you have anything else? Any questions or thoughts?
I think we've pretty much embedded think positive and communicate with others very heavily.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really it's just the thing to do. It's communicate and communicate well, especially because in my mind, eliminate anger in your conversations. It makes a difference, even if the other person is screaming and hollering at you. Don't scream and holler back, because it just doesn't end well. And then positive perspective and accountability. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, just kind of as we wind up, I just want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. Mental health and stress, it can be very heavy, and you don't have to carry it alone. And that's where we talk to somebody. So if this hits home with you, share it. And if you think a friend needs it, share it with that friend. And if you're going through it right now, just know it's okay to not have it all together. And we're right here with you. Like, we're still working through this. We're still feeling everything. So just know you're not alone. And, we'll see you on the next episode. Be sure to follow us, send us your thoughts, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode of the Real Ones Real Talks podcast.